Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with my good friends, Chuck White, president of IAM, and Brian Limperopulos, vice president of IAM. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What a long day for us. We've been traveling. We were in Atlanta this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was in DC this morning, and I'm in Virginia. We all have a story, don't we?
That's just driving across a bridge, man.
I don't know which took longer, frankly. Sorry we're late today, but we're going to be talking about the IAM conference in Toronto. We got some really cool stuff going on, so get in the comments, leave your questions, your musings, shout outs, check in, let us know what's going on out there. Hit that like button as well. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the IAM conference and kind of giving you a sneak peek of what's going on. I want to know about sessions. I want to know about hotels. I want to know about parties. You know, let's be honest, right?
We got a few of those.
Yeah, we got a couple parties lined up this year. This is exciting. I remember one of my early IMs was in Vancouver.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
Yeah, and the Canadian feel and vibe, you know, definitely added some flavor to it. How do you think that that's influenced this year, and what was your decision like to go to Canada this time and not do it in the US as usual?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We just returned from an association for associations conference, the American Society for Association Executives. Just got back this morning. It was in Atlanta this year. But when we went to that same conference, probably 6 years ago, was that, Brian?
5, 6 years
Toronto,
ago.
Yeah. It was in Toronto, and that's when we decided, based on the vibe and the feel and the diversity of that city, to take our conference to Toronto.
Yeah, it must have been awesome here. I'm looking forward to Toronto too. Having gotten to go up there, kind of do the walkthrough before.
Yep. Super
cool. We got people checking in. Hit that like button. Get in the comments. You can ask these guys anything. So whatever you put in there, I'm going to read it. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I just read the teleprompter. Okay, guys? So Chris Chalk checking in here. Great to see you guys. What's up, Chris? Good to see you too. Thanks for being in Atlanta with us last year, Chris, and sitting on our panel of corporate buyers and letting us know kind of what y'all are thinking. Appreciate it. I'd love to know what your experience was like kind of as an outsider, first-timer kind of guy. Janet Turner. Hello, my favorite group of guys.
Favorite?
Low standards, super low standards.
I will say I go back further with Janet than you do.
Wow,
so
super producer.
I'm just saying.
What do you want to tell us about your history with Janet Turner?
It was amazing.
It work safe? Okay. Anyway, Janet Turner, love you so much. Miss you in Dallas, Janet. Hope you're doing well. Janet's got some really cool conference stories. I remember that's really where I connected with Janet. I'd actually been at the IAM conference, and we connected and just this wonderful friendship, and she produced the show for many years. And I say many years, 2 years probably. But for a lot of episodes.
That's many to me.
Back when we were like the height, back when we were like really good at this. We got Scott Chapman. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Shots fired at Adam.
Adam's great. No, that's not where this is going.
Adam, I got your back.
Oh no,
Janet, you're wonderful too.
Oh gosh, yeah, Adam's great. We love Adam. I need to stop talking. It's gonna be a long show. Jana saying, "What a great day to see three of my favorites together. Happy Wednesday, everyone."
All right,
Jana from Brazil. So we've got Brazil in the house. Sherry checking in from SF.
Sherry. I don't know if Sherry. Where's Sherry?
Sherry,
coming from?
Venezia. She's coming from Venice, obviously.
Oh, yeah, right. They named it after her.
Yeah, that's what they used to do back in the day, right? Wow. You from Venice, you Venezia. You from like Ben Dallas.
We've already started to take this down a rabbit hole.
Stuff happens here. Janet Turner said 2 years. Whoa, felt like 5. Jeez, yeah, thanks so much. Sandra Clary, howdy. Sandra, EDC, big sponsor, right?
Every year.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Exhibitor
extraordinaire.
Very cool. Adam saying thank you. Brian, at least I know who my real friends are.
I got you.
If this thing cuts out like unannounced, you know what happens.
Oops, production.
Look, Christopher Lance checking in. Dab's in the house.
Oh, there we go.
Chris Lance, make you dance.
One of my board members.
Talk about the DAB. It's a cool acronym, but what does it mean?
So I'm starting out right now on this thing.
Okay.
The DAB, the Domestic Asset-Based Movers in the United States, US DAB, is hosting our after party on the opening night.
Ooh,
I'm
after
going to
party.
take responsibility. We have not done a great job of promoting this, but over the next 2 months, that is my primary mission, to get as many people who want to party after our opening reception. We are going to kick it off.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? All I heard there was, as the last year's president, my only responsibility is the after party.
My last,
That's what
no.
That's what I
My
heard.
only responsibility are the parties.
Parties.
Chuck's got his priorities.
That's it.
No,
That's it.
well, he's in touch with the membership. That's
I'm
exactly what
going.
they
I'm
want.
going out with a bang, man.
He knows what the people want.
He does. I'm looking
Look,
forward to this.
Viva.
Well, speaking of partying here, Viva from Amsterdam here, from the Netherlands. Good to see you all smiling. Looking forward to seeing you all soon, and concur the world.
All right.
Viva's representing here. What? So tell us. Can you give us a little? Where is this party going to be? What's going to go? Are you allowed to say?
Of course.
Okay.
We're unveiling it. So it will be in one of the hotels. So we are going to have our opening reception. We're going to be taking this all around town. So the opening reception is going to be at a place called the Steam Whistle.
Yes.
That is right.
Iconic.
Oh, it's awesome. It's going to be amazing.
It's like
People
an old
will
train
love
station
it.
converted into restaurants and bars and clubs.
Correct.
When we were there before doing the walkthrough, TikTok was having a party there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, we weren't allowed to photograph it, but we can tell people about it. TikTok was having a cool party there.
Yeah. So, and then after that, all you do is walk up the hill 100 yards or so and into the Intercontinental Hotel, which is where the after party is going to be.
At the Intercontinental.
Off the hook. It's going to be perfect.
Is it going to be in one of those cool little bars that they have there?
It's going to be downstairs in a special room. We're going to do the decor. We're going to have the DJ. We're going to have all the photo booths. We're going to have all the games. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
And like last year, we're going to be raising money for Move for Hunger there.
There you go.
I think
we have a new charity also that we're going to be raising money for.
Chris, as the chair, wanted to help out. I think it's the Macon. Chris, in the comments, tell us about the group down in Macon, Georgia, who we're going to be raising money for as well through the after party this year.
And it looks like Chris just gave us an update here. Just in breaking news, $64,500 in sponsorship committed already for the DAB after party.
Well, maybe I did do a good job in promoting it.
That's a whole lot of kegs, man.
That DAB group is stepping up and really supporting this event. We appreciate them and Chris's leadership there.
Tell us why the DAB is so important. This is a group that came about 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Why is this such an important initiative?
We really do think that the U.S.-based asset movers, particularly the independents, but van line agents as well, are very underrepresented in this country. AMSA, the American Moving and Storage Association, was somewhat their voice before they decided to not give up. Don't be mean, to merge with the American Trucking Association. We believe that left a bit of a gap in terms of representation, and we think this is the group that's going to move that needle forward. We want to be the voice.
I think domestic movers in this country are missing out if they're not participating in IAM. I mean, I'll be honest, like I've been associated with van lines and agencies in the past, right? And there is a misconception that the International Association of Movers is about international movers. And it's not. It's the Global Association of Movers, the way I look at it. And that's what and honestly, I mean, the United States is maybe I'm biased, but the United States is one of the most important moving markets in the world.
It is not one of. It is the.
Thank you.
It's the hub.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of just the Department of Defense's their moving program, about $3 billion annually,
and most of that's domestic.
Yep. And then you think about the corporate arena and where people want to come to get the work. It's here in the United States because we are, as a country, globally represented. I'm not even going to talk about the COD market. We are the hub of moving in the world. Without us, this industry doesn't really exist.
But Ben touches on something that we struggle with is IAM has members outside the U.S. and inside the U.S. And a lot of our members inside the U.S. think we're too international, and some outside the U.S. think we're too American.
That's tough.
And so I think we can do a better job of, kind of connecting the value proposition for these independents and van line agents. But I think you're absolutely right, Ben. We have this is the best conference in the industry.
Yeah.
It is the best place to make connections. And Chuck, that's why we have a job, is this conference.
Amen.
If we go back to that. So I think, this DAB is just getting started, and it's going to be not just a party. We're going to have a number of good sessions for the DABs. We're going to have a whole track for the DABs on site, from the DAB mover group meeting to kind of how to build your office and industrial.
The O&I moving. The office moving.
The focus is on diversification.
Absolutely.
And as we move forward in U.S. domestic moving, I don't think we can rest on only doing local moves, intrastate moves, interstate moves. When you get to January, December, the winter months, too many people have trucks sitting, warehouses stagnating.
Yeah.
We have got to find, as an industry, ways to diversify. And this DAB group, that's a real focus. And so join that group, join IAM, but focus on that group if you're a domestic asset-based mover, and you're going to reap the benefits.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, one of the number one requisitions that we see in the moving business is for O&I salespeople.
Yeah,
that's where the growth is.
Absolutely.
You look at like the corporate market, it's tough right now. You look at even the household, the military market, right? I mean, sometimes there's a pause or something like that, or a budget constraint or something like that. That office moving is really like kind of the third leg of the stool of a healthy moving business.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Get your questions in here, your comments. We're gonna get some shout outs here. We got people checking in, making really astute observations. Scott Chapman's one of them. He says, if you just lean 45 degrees to your left, your shirt will blend in to the background. Thanks so much, Scott.
We made that observation before we got on air.
Wow, Scott. I am wearing my IAM official shirt here.
Is it logoed? I need one of those.
It is now.
Chuck, maybe we need to buy those for the conference.
There you go. I like it.
Bank Cross signature attire. Steve Vitakamp. Hi, guys.
CMSA.
Hi, Steve.
So Steve, we're gonna and Viva's on here. We're gonna be inducting Steve Weidekamp.
That's right.
And Steve Lewis, as well as Jim Putt from Ayers, into our Hall of Honor this year.
Yeah.
So that's the highest recognition we give out to people in the industry at IAM, and I think it's a great class of inductees this year.
It really, and the more I thought about this, look at the diversity again that IAM holds up. We've got someone who has been involved with the domestic moving market, the local California moving market, runs a state association. We've got in Steve Lewis someone who has been around the world, but kind of felt at the end in Asia, and representing multiple organizations through his presence in Asia and representing those in Europe. And then Jim Putt, who really started one of the foremost organizations now in the relocation arena. So we're covering so much of mobility right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's our future.
Well, and I think, in the Jim Putt story, I think it's super interesting because he started American International, which is a freight forwarder back in like maybe late 70s, early 80s. And it's grown into one of the top, relocation management companies in the world,
No doubt.
And I think that as we look at global mobility and relocation, the moving of household goods is really at the center of it. And what I tell my friends in the relocation space when they ask me about the IAM conferences, I'm like, yeah, it's moving dominant. But when you start talking to these providers, especially in other countries, you find how diversified they are. They're your DSPs.
Correct.
They're helping with immigration stuff. They're helping with home finding. They're helping with, settling in services and all sorts of, all sorts of things. Right. And I think it's a rich membership.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing I think that's missing as we go back to the US DAB in the US market, we are, as movers, have gotten in such a niche environment, whereas movers that are DAB like anywhere else in the world, they find multiple ways to utilize their personnel, their warehouses, their trucks in all ways possible. And again, that diversification is such a critical piece, and I think is what IAM will offer to those folks that just don't quite understand us.
I want to build off a point you just made, though, about how these companies overseas are doing all those different services. That's and I just saw that Ray De Silva checked in. That's one of the things that Ray is trying to do. Keep going. It kind of build out further on our mobility exchange platform is bring visibility to those services, and so we can kind of connect buyers to, okay, if you're going to India, you can see which companies have these services, and just kind of connect the dots there.
Dude, India is such a key market. Like, so when people are going to like Bangalore or something like that, all these tech companies and everything, they're leveraging the movers to be the DSPs, but also to be the corporate housing providers. Because they're the ones that actually will take space at these apartments and furnish them and end up being the missing link in that supply chain to get boots on the ground there for really big multinational tech companies. Anyway, get in the comments, hit that like button right now. I want to know who you are, where you are, and I want to hear your questions. We can ask Chuck and Brian anything. So get in there.
Once again, you can't ask us anything.
That means we can also ask Ben anything too.
Okay. Ooh, okay. All right. Well, fair. We got Lubbock, Texas checking in. What's up? Josani here. Danny Herskowitz checking in from New Jersey. What's up, New Jersey in the house?
This is a worldwide program.
Yes, New Jersey is somewhere else. This is Matthew Odike.
Yeah, new employee at IAM. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
Is Matthew still on holiday?
He says we are the hub.
He's a European guy. They're always on holiday. Come on,
10 months vacation over there.
At least.
Yes, Andrew's saying yes. We're a Gold Plus sponsor of the IAM annual meeting. Very cool. We got questions. Jay Peroni always asking the hard hitting stuff here. What will be my cash prize for winning the DAB After Parties Rock Paper Scissors tournament this year? What is he talking about?
I'm going to give you a nice firm handshake, Jake. And
yeah, so that will be one of the second annual Rock Paper Scissors contest.
Do you bring your own scissors? How does it work?
Have you never played rock? There's three things. There's rocks, there's paper, and there's scissors.
I feel like you're about to hit me with the rock and the paper just now.
On top of the head and suffocate you with the paper.
Oh man, this is great. Our first assault on the show. So and it's for charity, right?
Well, that piece of it, you win a nice prize. I think last year, what did we give away? Free registration or free? No, I think it was hotel accommodations for the entire conference. That kind of thing.
I think Jake is also matching all funds donated.
Did you say that?
I think Jake.
Did he say that?
This is very generous, Jake. We appreciate you.
Jake, thank you so much, Jake. It's people like you, Jake, who make this industry great. Mark Gray says, I just received my new passport, sending in my sponsorship commitment tomorrow.
Love it, Mark.
It's deadline time.
Mark has been an amazing partner with us since he joined. We had the meeting in Atlanta last year. He lives in that area. I think that's what spurred him to join IAM. And I think we opened up his eyes a bit to what the positives are being a member. And look at him now. He's jumping in his passport. He's coming to another country. Here we go.
No, man.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, this ain't Stone Mountain. I mean, this is all the way, Mark. This is great. This ain't going to Roswell, man. This is all the way. Mark, can't wait to see you there, buddy. Enjoyed my time with Mark. It was actually the first time I met him in person. Was at the Toronto conference, and we had a beer and spent an hour talking. It was just really great. So I can't wait to see you in Toronto. And thanks for sponsoring as well. Matthew is bringing up the core members meeting will be a game changer. What's he getting at?
Yes. So our core members management board. So this is our regional representatives from the different regions around the world. They got together and wanted to bring forth kind of a pretty impactful session this year. And it's organized around the different kind of industry issues that are affecting our our members around the world, whether that's kind of lithium batteries, whether that's
those little batteries are just making so many lives miserable.
A lot of noise, a lot of noise.
Recruitment and retention of talent, and we're going to have another session on that. But keeping up with changes in technology. So they're going to be talking, in different roundtables in an interactive format, kind of, learning from each other, not having necessarily speakers up on a stage, but really kind of an interactive discussion about what are you seeing in your country? How are you approaching it? For lithium batteries, what are you hearing from the shipping lines? Are they giving you one answer or are they giving you 5 different answers? So it's really about collaborative learning, and hopefully not only are you learning about some issue that you can take back to your company, but you're building new relationships in that meeting. So we're really excited about that.
I'm excited too, not only because of what people can take back, but it really helps the association focus on what issues we need to be addressing on your behalf. Absolutely. So this is a way for us to gather data and input and then give back to the membership as a result.
I'd love to hear from you all out there. I'm always really curious. Every year we sit down and we talk about what sessions we're going to do and, where we're going with this thing, what's not being talked about that needs to be talked about. We have a whole bunch of people here right now. I want to ask you, if you could create one session or propose one session for the IM conference, what would that be? What is one thing that you would like to hear as a member out there of the community? Put in the comments. Love to hear what they say.
So one of the things while people are thinking about that we are really engaging on the front of the global household goods contract. Oof. And the contract award winner, HomeSafe, is going to have a huge presence at our conference. We believe they have 12 people registered. Wow. They are going to have an exhibit booth, and they are going to be involved in, I think, 3 different sessions, one solely themselves. That we're also providing them with a meeting room where they can get together with future clients. So they're going to have a huge presence at our conference. The kickoff is supposed to be next month. It's here. Wow. We're going to be moving shipments under the global household goods contract next month.
This is happening.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have been not believing that it's happening, head in the sand. Yeah. It's happening.
And so if
people are talking about this, you see stuff on Facebook about it?
Honestly, I don't think enough people are talking about this. I think the drivers are super engaged. Agency owners are becoming engaged. But I don't think the rest of the industry, I don't think the broader relocation industry, the broader global mobility industry is really understanding how big of a domino this is that's going to fall.
Let me ask you this question. Ben, you had your 500 episode anniversary last week.
This is 503 now, by the way, gentlemen.
Chuck's been on like
half of
400.
You're like the Alec Baldwin of
Chuck has equity in the show.
Or Tom Hanks. Did the global household good contract come up at your event? Because that's a pretty diverse group from around the reload industry.
It didn't come up.
Okay.
It didn't come up. And it didn't come up for 2 reasons. One, we skewed a little bit more human approach and less hard content kind of thing, more like telling stories and stuff. Yeah. Okay. And we looked really super macro at migration patterns and things like that, and not really at economic.
I gotta say that the one thing I got to see was Parag's presentation. Man, what a great session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was great. And he was a paid speaker that we brought in. He's written several books, and I think he's the most preeminent thinker in the global mobility industry. And frankly, nobody's heard of him.
No.
And I say nobody's heard of him, no disrespect to the gentleman, because he spoke in front of Google, he spoke at the World Economic Forum, he's written 4 books. I mean, he's widely known, but we don't talk about him. We listen to guys like Ben Cross when we should be listening to guys like Parag Khanna, But anyway,
notice he didn't name either one of us.
I let you guys off the hook. Yeah, no. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah. So no, it didn't come up for that reason, and also didn't come up because again, it just isn't on people's radar. The fact that hundreds of thousands of moves are going to shift to an entity from 900 entities on the domestic side and 200-300 entities on the international side. That is enormous. I don't think the impact can be overstated. And the fact that we're not talking about this all the time, I think is kind of I say me. In fact, me and you know, the industry, I don't see more about this, frankly, is kind of mind-boggling.
Well, I think there are so many groups that have turned a blind eye to it because they say, we don't do that type of work. We don't work in that arena.
Yeah.
I've been shouting from the top of my lungs since the day this topic was starting to be discussed 4 or 5 years ago, that once we put this kind of volume, this kind of dollar economic value in the hands of a single entity, they're going to have an effect across every layer of the moving landscape.
Yeah.
And people better be ready for it.
I'll make some bold predictions. You know, I'll just go out on my own. I mean, all the national account business is going to change because everything that's being serviced by certain van lines is going to go to other van lines. And now those van lines are going to become full, and the ones that won the contract are going to be full. So now that means all the people showing up to the consumer moves is going to change because all that capacity is going to be gone. So now you're going to see all sorts of new entrants. And if we think we have rogue moving issues now in our industry, when all the traditional quality, reputable, I am trusted capacity is gone, those rogues are going to be the only game in town on the internet.
Thank you for opening that doorway, because I wanted to talk a little bit about the theme of our conference. Why don't I let Brian talk a little bit about the theme of the conference and then why we have focused on that theme.
Yeah, so the theme of the conference is the power of trust, and it's really organized around our newest program, which is the IAM Trusted Moving Designation. IAM Trusted Mover Designation. And so the idea here is IAM has a really robust code of ethics, and we had a great rewrite and revision of our code of ethics last year in preparation for this launch. And all of our members sign and say, we will adhere to this code of ethics. And so that's great. You know, I think it's a standard thing that most associations do. But what IAM Trusted goes a little bit further. It's saying, are you willing to stand up and say, my company will be judged against that code of ethics in real time? And how we measure that is through our issue resolution system. So Ben, if you had a moving company and you wanted to become an IAM Trusted Mover,
and he would,
yeah, and set yourself apart in the marketplace, then you're making a commitment to IAM. You're making a commitment to your partners around the world,
right,
and to your customer that you're going to resolve issues in a timely manner, consistent with our code of ethics. And so what we're doing here is building a foundation for what I believe is an amazing tool for business-to-business relationships, to give some peace of mind, to undergird that, but also in the future for B2C relationships. When those customers are looking to source a mover, they can come to IAM and say, okay, IAM has done this and this and this, and they're providing me support so that when I run into an issue with my moving company, I'm not just left there to fend for myself.
Wow. Yeah. So you automatically get that intermediary or that arbiter, you know, who can step in, and I love it because, and I love it for so many reasons. I love it on the obviously, I mean, the whole on the agent side, right? If I send something around the world, I want to know the other person on the receiving end of that is reputable and trusted, right? I love it on the corporate side because if it functions the way I think it might evolve, you know, a relocation management company or a corporation who chooses a mover from this program has the extra layer of protection that they need. And then from a consumer standpoint, I think this is probably like, I mean, if it's doing what I hear you say it might be doing, is now if I choose a mover from this list of trusted IAM Trusted Movers and certified movers, then I know A, I know they're not a rogue mover, but B, if I have an issue, can I come to the association and be like, Brian, Brian, like, what's up? Like, my estimate's 20% over. Can you help me, Brian? No, I want to see these phone calls. No, I want to see somebody. Mr. Limperopulos on line 1. We have
I'm taking all your calls.
Susie homeowner says,
all right, Susie on line 6. No, what's really cool about it is we create an online forum through which people can resolve their issues. And if they don't resolve their issues, then they will lose their designation. And we
in a certain time frame, they have time requirements and steps in a process that they must achieve, or else they'll be out and lose that designation. So I think this is really, really key, again, as we started out business to business. But once we get in front of the consumer, people are going to start to, I believe, if we handle this the right way, ask if you are IAM trusted, and if not, why not?
Exactly. And then like you pair that with all the data we have on Mobility Exchange. And then this, you can look at, okay, I can see all the attributes that this company has. And they're also making this commitment to their customer, whether it's a trade partner or, a family, just signing up to move down the street. So I think it's really kind of, bringing our whole value proposition together. And it's an exciting way for us to make moving easier around the world. And that's kind of what our focus is.
I think it's so necessary too, because if you look at like Yelp, where a lot of people go for services and stuff, Yelp, you can have a company that doesn't own a truck on Yelp. You can have a guy in a t-shirt loading a Penske trailer. I've seen brokers, the pictures, or they're loading stuff with it's not wrapped, the furniture's not wrapped, so you have that, and they can have a 4.7 on Yelp. They must be good, right? When you go to the Better Business Bureau, the BBB. I know for a fact the BBB they'll give you an A as long as you just respond to every complaint, as long as you're engaged. But it doesn't mean your service is any good. Right. Google reviews. I mean, anybody can create accounts on Google, and that's why you see the Google, star ratings are so much higher than on Yelp or something like that. Mm-hmm. So you really need someone to come in and create a marketplace that is curated. And there's a human being actually inspecting these things. Ray's saying there's a 57-second video that explains what IAM Trusted is about. He put the link there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray. Ray has a question for you, Chuck. It looks like it's math. Chuck, how will
I have to have a hypotenuse in here or something?
Yes, A squared plus B squared equals Chuck. Chuck, how will the pioneering IAM trust you taught? Did you teach math?
I did a little bit.
You did?
I did.
I did even biology.
Biology, chemistry, which
moles,
is math.
Moles.
Oh my God. You remember something.
I remember falling asleep when my chemistry teacher was talking about moles.
You wouldn't have fallen asleep with me.
I believe that. Ray says, Chuck, how will the pioneering IAM trusted moving companies be recognized at the conference?
Great
I
question.
see that they are already recognized in the attendee roster.
They are. We have their designation in the attendee roster to let you know. So let me just back up a little bit. We introduced this program at the last annual meeting and did a promo where you could get your IAM trusted designation for free. But we had an official rollout only in April of this year. And that's when people had to start paying for it.
But that's also when we started enforcing it through the issue resolution system.
True. And so we are well in excess of 100 adopters of the IAM trusted program, and we have over 100 that are in process. I'm hoping we'll be up to significant numbers beyond that as we get into the IAM conference. And during my state of the IAM address, I plan to recognize those folks. I plan to have them stand up. I plan to even speak to or have a few representatives of some of the first adopters come forward and be recognized. We are very proud of this program. We're excited about the people that have stepped forward and said, I want to be recognized. I want to be known as a trusted company. And so we plan to recognize them at the conference. If you have any interest, please let us know.
And that's going to take place Tuesday, October 10th, 8:30 in the morning. Everybody should come to that.
8:30?
Yeah.
We are
going to serve breakfast. We are going to serve breakfast, so we will feed you.
All right, I'm in.
But that's going to be the place.
That was it.
That's going to be the place where we talk about what IAM is doing to help all of you and help the industry. So definitely come there. We'll be talking about everything else throughout the conference, but that's going to be where you get your best overview.
And you get to come watch me cry probably, because I'll be having an opportunity to say goodbye.
I wonder if we'll have any surprises there.
Oh, here we go.
Don't you start that.
Here we go.
I'm
heard Drake and a cake is what we got.
I was hoping to walk out the back door and nobody know that I'm heading out. Come on now.
We ordered our Drake and a cake.
Don't be messing with me. Let's talk about some other things associated with the conference.
Yes.
Brian is a tad bit younger than I am. Why don't you talk about our YP event, Social Mixer?
YPs, Social Mixer at the Walrus Pub and Lounge. The evening of October 11th, Wednesday night, already sold a huge amount of tickets. YPs get in free. So if you're somebody under the age of 40 coming to the conference, you're definitely going to want to join the YPs if you haven't done so already. That ticket alone would cover the cost of your membership, or the membership covers the cost of your ticket. But it's just always probably the best party. I can't say that. We're going to have two amazing parties, because the dab after party is going to be great on the first day.
I don't think we're going to allow anybody to go to bed during the entire conference. Do you think?
It's going to feel like the last 3 days for me, Chuck.
I'm excited about this Walrus Pub.
Yeah, it's a nice venue.
And it's really close to the hotels. And, I think it's going to be a great event. And one thing I want to point out here is it's a party with a purpose as well, to support our Alan F. Wallstetter Scholarship Fund. And this is a group, an organization that is starting to do some really cool things in the industry. And if you don't know about our industry training program that the Alan F. Wallstetter Scholarship Fund does, this is a new thing that they started doing last year, where they're giving out money, $500 to industry professionals around the world to go take courses, free money, to go take courses at I Am Learning, the FIDI Academy, Worldwide ERC Training and Education, LACMA Training, Eura. And if you're not a part of it and you have education, we're willing to bring you on as an approved industry training program as well. So what the Scholarship Fund is trying to do is to raise the professionalism of the industry. It is an affiliated organization of IAM, but it is not IAM. Its sole purpose is to serve the industry. So this is how they're serving the industry. And I think it's a really important way we can, raise money to help fuel the next, not the next generation. It will help the next generation, but fuel the professionalism of our industry and have a good time while doing it.
As individuals think of themselves as professionals in an industry, they're going to stay in that industry. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's one of the critical.
That's why I haven't left.
Well, we've been trying to kick you out.
I got a certification. I'm like, well, might as well stay now.
So we're trying to increase that professionalism. This is, I think, a help for organizations that are trying to not only seek new talent, but maintain that talent. And if you continue to build them up and give them the platform to grow within your organizations or within the industry, then they're going to stay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Ben, you got to connect your recruitment.
I was just thinking, or they're going to leave for more money and go somewhere else with their new certification. But no, they're going to stay in the industry for sure. And that's important.
Definitely.
Sandra has a question, actually.
Okay.
Sandra always with the actual heart. She's like, all right, playtime's over, boys. Okay. She says, for those of us who are sponsoring as exhibitors for the annual meeting, what are you doing to support and drive traffic to the exhibit floor? It looks like a really full agenda, and I don't see many gaps for people to head to the exhibit hall.
Oh, there's plenty of gaps.
I'm sure you've got something planned.
Oh, well, there are two big things. one that movers are well known for. Alcohol. So there is.
I love how you go from I am trusted to alcohol.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, we trust that the alcohol is going to take care of that.
Yes.
So we have a bar that's going to be, I think, amazing, and lounges within the exhibit hall, places for people to meet in the exhibit hall. Because number one thing we are known for is the networking, and the networking has the exhibit hall will have the space to do the networking. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to have what we're calling a fun zone. It will be an activity zone, and you'll be able to go in and shoot a hockey puck or whatever other ideas that we're coming up with right now, refining. But it's going to be a zone where people will be able to get together, network, and play and have fun during the day when they have a break in their meetings. So we want to drive as many people. Oh, by the way, that's where the food's going to be as well. That's food, alcohol, fun, partying, networking. The hub, the exhibit hall is the place to be.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about this is we're going to be in the Toronto Convention Center.
Correct.
So we're not going to be at a hotel where the bar is the hotel bar. The bar here that I foresee, the main gathering bar, at least during the day, is going to be in the expo hall.
That's right.
So when people want to go have a drink and meet somebody, they're going to be in the expo hall. And it's actually going to be closer to go to the expo hall from the breakout session than it's going to be to go to the hotel. And because we have several hotels, people are going to know they're going to run into their friends in the expo hall and are in the hub, I should say. That's right. And not, taking a chance. Well, if I go to this one, Intercontinental, maybe they're over here at the. So I think people are going to really have that certainty and that trust around going to the hub. So there's going to be that. There's going to be the cool sports things and stuff too, Sandra. We're going to be doing some live broadcasts and Love and Relo and stuff too from there. So the hub really is going to be, where the action takes place when you're not busy learning new cool stuff in the breakouts.
Yeah, and they're not far. The breakouts are not far removed from the exhibit hall. I think everybody will be excited about what they see because all of the hotels are very close to the convention center where we'll have much of the activity, and they won't have to go and run back to their room for anything. It's all going to be right there. We want you there.
Is there a hashtag for this conference?
It's not that.
It's not this one? It's not because it doesn't have Toronto on it?
Where is it?
Not, Adam always proposing hashtag.
I don't think so.
Toronto 2023.
How about
That's what we're gonna.
I am giving to Move for Hunger, something like that.
I am Toronto 2023.
It's
could have a ring to
like
it.
That.
Yeah.
It's not I am drunk though.
Yeah, no.
You sure?
No,
it could turn into that.
I think we give people the idea that this is a brainstorming session. And it's not. It's totalitarianism.
You know how long we've been working on this stuff. God.
Oh, Sandra says, Adam, hush up, Adam. This is great. Ray is coining new cocktails, the Trustini.
Oh,
it's like a Boulevardier and a Negroni mixed together.
Wow. You know a little too much about
alcohol. I know what Ray drinks. Ray schooled me on some stuff here.
All right.
This is cool. Morgana saying we have 40 ITP scholarships currently available.
That's $500 each.
Yeah, we throw 20 grand around like it's petty cash.
So come knock on our door.
Yep.
Can
I talk a little bit also about one of the things that we've started to focus in on, and that's sustainability, particularly around the environmental side of that discussion. And we've joined a coalition, Greener Mobility Coalition, and I will say we're starting to take it to heart as an organization. We were told, wonderful, you to tell all the movers or start to talk about this discussion, but why aren't you leading? And I will cover some of what we have done around our annual meeting on this topic of sustainability during my address to the organization, to the membership. But we are devoted to this. We are all in on this. And we want to lead by example. So more to follow on what we will be doing as an organization on this front.
Cool. Love it. It's an imperative.
Yep.
Let's see. We got the applications scholarship link. So if you want to apply for the Alan F. Wolstetter scholarship,
I mean, that's key. I mean, folks in your organization that want to take courses, but maybe your organization doesn't have the funding available for them to do it, but they still want to better themselves. We can help you.
We had it in our company. Jana Shezanowski wants to take her CRP certification, right?
Yep.
I'm like, we better call Chuck.
I think Jana was one of our first applicants.
That's it. That's it. Here's $500
because it's out there
help
and people aren't like using it, and it's like y'all like.
Well, that's
need
the
to
thing.
Give it away.
That's great. That's a great point. So our scholarship fund had been focused on giving college scholarships. $5,000. Those are some pretty significant numbers, but we had difficulty giving those scholarships away. That kind of money. Okay, let's find out about training opportunities. We ran out of money right away.
Oh, wow.
Went back to our scholarship fund. They re-upped and did it again. Ran out of money again. They've re-upped it again. I mean, we are giving money away hand over fist and have found that that's the place to do it. People want that training. And if we can fund that, it's good for all parties.
And this is better than the California Moving and Storage
Association. 100%.
Scholarship.
Oh my
right?
God. Those guys give away little piddly amounts to a lot of people. But man, we have a significant impact on people's lives. Not that California isn't okay.
Steve Whitecamp gave me a 20.
This is an ongoing battle between Steve Whitecamp and I, but it is for the betterment of our industry, of the children of our of folks involved in our industry, in the people in the industry. We are trying as associations, I'm going to throw CMSA in there, to try to give back as much as we can to the people that support us.
I think it's really cool. You know, one of the things I admire about IM and the leadership is that y'all not only lead our industry, but you lead the associations, the adjacent associations too. Setting an example, whether it be on standardization or sustainability or, you know, scholarships, frankly. I mean, the fact that you're giving scholarships away to get certifications that might be offered by different associations. I mean, just the collaborative nature, you know, it's just, it's really refreshing.
Yeah. Well, that's one of our strategic initiatives. When we did our strategic plan, it was one of the key values is to increase and build on the professionalism of our industry. And our industry now has morphed. Our industry was movers.
Yeah.
But now we're thinking of us as part of the larger mobility structure and thus partnerships with folks like URA and Worldwide ERC. Right. And now we're starting to look at the housing side of this. We want to be good partners, good stewards, but focus on mobility at large.
Yeah. Christopher Chalk was sharing his experience. Chris Chalk is a corporate global mobility leader. And he says, and he attended last year in Atlanta, and says, I got great value from the conference. I really, really enjoyed the exhibition hall and meeting some of my global suppliers in person and a few people I had not seen in years, like Jamie Wong.
Jamie Wong, Canadian, Toronto, Armstrong. Jamie's a good guy. Arsenal supporter. So you know he's a good guy.
Well, I mean, everything you said up to that point was fine.
Political.
Oh man, no, this is good.
Well, here let's get back to why we're here. The closing banquet this year is.
Tell us about the closing, because this is always epic, and I remember the one from Vancouver, and that one was so epic. It was like boom, boom, like these timpani kind of boom, 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 and then like there's like someone like painting some ink, you know, like ink brush painting, and like you're sitting there eating this amazing food and watching someone paint. You're like, what's it gonna be? Doom, doom, doom. What's it gonna be? The drama
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
oh, the dancers.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the light
Epic.
at the end, what I loved about that was the lights came up and we had the band set up at the back, the exact opposite end of the room. So it was like everybody was like, and then everybody went and had a great time.
Yeah. Well, I can't really give any sneak under the tent.
Chuck doesn't even tell me.
Yeah, but it's going to be epic. It always surprises me. The exhibit hall closes, people leave, everybody's gone, half the crowd shows up at the closing, and it's always bigger and better and more amazing. And I just can't believe people don't stay around for that. So I encourage you, if you're going to go to the conference, you've got to stay through the whole thing.
And the last day of the conference is when we're holding the event with Home Safe Alliance. And that's going to be a place where I think as we're about, at that point, a month into the implementation, I think everybody should want to hear from what will be the biggest company in the industry overnight.
And that's a really good point, because the last day of the conference, traditionally, I had always kind of just slept off whatever I did Friday night.
Really? At the YP party?
I mean, prepared myself for the amazing event.
Yeah.
And then people, take their time, and there's not a lot going on during the day on the last day typically.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I mean, you kind of have saved the best for last, and you got this mega session that everybody's going to want to be in to hear what exactly their plans are, what's their strategy, how do I get involved, how do I make sure I'm part of the plan.
Yeah,
don't
right.
get left behind.
That's
right.
Right. That's
And
right.
then once you get those assurances, then you can go don your kilts and your kimonos and come on out to the and I love the garb. I love how everybody shows up in their traditional cultural garb. It's so cool.
Yep. It's great. So the other piece of this is Toronto. People are going to have to get out and experience Toronto as well. It is such a diverse city. That was the reason I decided to take the conference there, because it is a beautiful profile of our organization. We have folks from 170 countries in our membership. Last year at the IAM conference in Atlanta, we had over 110 countries represented. That in microcosm is Toronto. It has a little bit of everything. And so the diversity of the city matches IAM. I think people are going to just love what they see in Toronto. And we are downtown, right in the heartbeat of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome location. And this year the conference is on different days of the week than it has been, hasn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, we went to
Monday to Thursday.
Monday to Thursday, because
Yeah.
before we kind of go into the weekend, and you'd end up leaving on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of more of like just like kind of during the week.
Business.
So now people aren't having to make that decision. Do I decide between family and being at this
they'll
conference?
get back home and still have a day or so in at home to recover.
Yeah.
And then get back to the office that following Monday. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a great experience.
And our numbers are looking great, and we're really excited about.
What are numbers looking like? You want to give us a little peek?
We got over 1,300.
Oh, I think we're getting closer to 1,400 if you ask me.
And it feels like
Still 2 months out.
Yeah, it feels early to be. How does this compare to like where you would be, like say last year at this time?
We're
ahead.
If things continue, we were over 1,700 last year. If things continue, we're going to blow that away.
Wow.
So please get your registration in. If you're a governing member, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. A premier member now.
Yes.
I'm stuck in that old paradigm. If you're a premier member now, you still get the early bird rate. The only thing I would say to you is we've got 4 hotels. 3 of them are over 100% of what we blocked off for those hotels. So 3
of them are already at occupancy.
That's exactly right. And then the 4th one, look, if I had it to do myself and I wasn't as part of this team, the most historic hotel maybe in all of Canada is the Fairmont. The Royal York is what it used to be called. It's over 100 years old, been redone. It is spectacular. spectacular.
It's gorgeous.
It is just so gorgeous.
And the lobby is tremendous.
Oh, it's
so
like
ornate.
stepping back in time. It's ornate. You know, the
bars are so unique as well.
We're going to do a Hall of Honor reception.
Can dishonorable people sneak into that?
No, these are the honorable ones. And so we're going to do a reception there for a small group. And I'm telling you, when they walk into that, they're never going to want to leave. I mean, it's a spectacular little bar.
That bar is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think people may be thinking that it's far away from the convention center and
block
the other
and a half.
hotels.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah.
It is so close, and it is so easy to get over to the convention center. Obviously, you can walk, just walk the block on the street, but they also have underground walkways from the hotel over to just make up that block. So, as Chuck said, that's a beautiful property.
Yeah.
And
Jake hit something. Jake Peroni, who is on our executive committee, talked about the premier member meeting on the final day. That's the lead in to that Home Safe Alliance session. We'll be voting on members of the executive committee during that meeting and providing updates that are significant, in depth about what the association is doing now and what the plans are for the future. I would highly encourage any of you who are not premier members to look at the value proposition there and think about it, because of the discounts that you're offered, because of the ability to serve and participate at the highest governance level of our organization. Think about that, because that meeting, there is so much information disseminated that I think that in and of itself is worth the membership at that level.
Well, there you go. It's a good push there. Sandra's over here saying, stop by my booth. People already have their booths assigned. How are we looking from a booth? We got booths still available?
Yeah, we do have booths. We have gone from about 100 booths last year available, which we sold out the exhibit hall.
Right, because that was a tight space.
You've seen this space that we have available.
I mean, the auto show is there. I mean, it is huge
space. And so we do have some regular booths. We sold all of our Gold Plus sponsors. We added that. All of our gold, all of our silver, all of our bronze. We still have about
wood left.
No wood sponsors.
All right, no wood.
We can chop some wood.
I would sponsor.
Paul Bunyan kind of, yeah, we would
love Poutine sponsor.
We would love to have.
Thank you, Ben.
So there are still some regular booths available, but they're going fast. So don't wait on this, because we will. And if we do sell out, we're going to have about 40 or 50 more booths than we had last year. I'm telling you, it's going to be the place to do the business.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait. Jason Hall checking in from USI Law. What's up, Jason, here in DC? I want to just ask you, I know we're kind of coming up on our time here. What is the number one thing that you are excited about? Leave us with that, just maybe as a final closing thought. Chuck, I'm going to ask you first.
I'm going to start crying. It's going to be my last IAM.
You're excited about that?
Well, excited in a different way. Excited to be able to see my friends, my family that have developed over 19 years with the association and 30 years in this industry. It's going to be a tough one to deal with. So I'm just excited for the people. That's really what I'm excited about.
Yeah. All right, Brian, you can't say people or Chuck. So what are you most excited about?
I mean, in the city of Toronto. Party.
Yeah. So Euro Brian's coming out.
I'm retiring Euro BL.
He's going to be Canadian BL from now on.
Canadian BL. Oh, boy.
The city of Toronto. Yeah. It's going to be a cool backdrop. And I love the sports and how we've incorporated it, and I think the parties haven't been taken. So I'm going to say the parties. And I also, shout out to Katya, who does a lot of the design of the hub, because she really got creative with all that space, right?
Yep.
So there's going to be like beer gardens in there, and like there's going to be stuff that's designed in there to really keep a discerning palate, like
try and drive people in there for.
I'm shouting out to all of our Canadian members who have stepped out. I mean, they're going to have some significant parties. I know I'm going to be at the party that's going to be held at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
And that is an amazing venue. And so for sure, there's
CN Tower.
CN Tower.
There's going to be some fun events going on.
Oh, yeah. That place is spectacular.
Wow.
Oh,
Chuck, can you go up the CN Tower?
I can, with my eyes closed.
You hug the wall?
Beyond hugging the wall. My wife, they have a glass floor at what used to be the tallest structure in North America. And they had the glass floor and a portion of it. And there's my wife lying on that floor taking, come here, honey. And here's Chuck back up again. No, I can't do it. Heights are not my thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Exciting stuff. Eric Masadi checking in from Trailer Bridge. What's up, Eric? Yeah, can't wait to see you out there. If you haven't registered for some reason, you better register. Get the last of the booths. I think there might be a Wood or Poutine sponsor floating around.
We got some sponsorships if you want to
get on there and do it now, because this one is going to be epic. I can't wait to see you all out there.
The largest gathering in, I would say, mobility.
Yeah, this is the largest conference in the global mobility industry worldwide, bar none. And it's just, if you haven't ever experienced it, it's an environment like no other. So be there. October, what are the dates again?
October 9 through 12.
October 9 through 12. And we won't make everyone go up to CN Tower. That's purely optional. We got drivers in the house. What's up, Steve?
All right, Steve Meyer. I see you.
What up, though? All right, anyway, take care, everybody. We will see you next week, and we will see you in Toronto. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.